Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another amazing episode of Beyond Boardroom Business. I'm your host, Coach Stephanie, business strategist, author, podcaster, and I'm here every week, every Thursday night, live, Eastern Standard Time, interviewing some amazing people. And tonight is no different. Mr. Jeff Bill, also known as Mr. Marketology, is here tonight to share with us some ideas of what's going on and what's the best solutions when it comes to marketing for your small business or whatever it is that you have. If you are in business, you definitely need to know Mr. Marketology. So without further ado, let's bring on Jeff Bill. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am amazing. Thank you for asking. And so, wow, I am so glad you're here because marketing, that's just my favorite part, especially when it comes to business. So, how did you get started?
Wow. It's a long story, actually. Marketing has been something I've been interested in for a long time. My journey is funny because I tell people I've sat at every seat at the table. So, first seat, of course, and the best seat is as a consumer. So, I've been marketed too. I was in the military and worked with government, helping them with symposiums and things of that nature. So, government marketing. Then I got into the agency world. Then I got into corporate America. And then I got into being a consultant and then becoming a strategist and coach. I've sit on every side. So, when it comes to marketing, it's been something that's in me. I even look at things differently. I may look at a commercial and I'm looking at the marketing angles and type of triggers that they have and so forth. So that's kind of how I got started. I mean, I kept migrating into, well, how can I um, leverage marketing? How can I look at the messaging? How can I get in front of the right people? And it's always been that way. So that's pretty much in a short overview how I got into marketing.
Okay. Well, for those who aren't really familiar when it comes to marketing for businesses, what is marketing?
Well, marketing actually, let's put it like this. You always heard that term, lead a horse to water. We can't make him drink.
Yes.
Marketing is the
Yes.
leading the horse to the water. Marketing is identifying the right people that have the right needs that you can benefit and providing them the right opportunities to do business with you. Marketing is not sales. Marketing is not advertisement, even though advertisement is a part of marketing. Marketing is that strategy to basically get in front of the right people and identify their needs and how you can benefit it. A lot of people get it confused because they do think
Yeah.
marketing is sales, and they think
Mm.
marketing is, oh well, I advertise. Well, that's a part of it, but it's not the complete picture. So that's a great question that you asked.
Okay. So there is, like you just mentioned, there is a distinctive difference between marketing and sales and advertisement. Are they
Yes.
all needed? Is there anything else that's needed in that group?
Oh wow. There's customer service. There's
Yes.
social influence. All of those things are part of it. Think of marketing like this. If you do your job well with marketing, your sales teams aren't really selling. All they're doing is taking orders. Because if you do enough to where that person knows they have a need, you can benefit that need, how that process works. Your sales team do not have to convince them to do business with you. They're ready to do business with you. They just need to know how to do business with you. And if you're doing your marketing well, they know how. They just need somebody to basically take the card, and that's it.
Yes.
But a lot of
Yeah.
people look at marketing as manipulation, propaganda. I need to make somebody that doesn't want to eat what I have.
Right.
I say it
Right.
as simple as you're trying to make vegans eat a porterhouse steak. I don't care what the cow, where grass fed, this, that, and the third. We got the best chefs, the best herb. Doesn't matter. That's not what they want. But if you do your marketing right, you can make a vegan definitely want a vegan, a slutty vegan burger
Right,
all
right,
day, every day,
right.
because you already know what their needs are and you know how to get them in front of your your offer, get them in front of where they can purchase what they need. And so that's where we do it wrong. We look at marketing because we look at TV and we think that we got these guys and I'm going to tell you something and you never wanted this, never had a desire for it. Now all of a sudden you need it. And that happens like a very, very small percentage of times. And every now and again, a person finds something that they didn't really want, didn't really need, and the marketing was just so good that you get it, but it doesn't sustain your business because
Right.
that'll be a one-off purchase, and they probably will never do it again.
Right. So the subliminal message is done in the marketing phase of the
Yes,
business.
yes,
Mhm. And so, how do
definitely.
you know if you've hired a great marketing company?
Well, I would say a lot of it comes with the results, but early on, when you don't have results, see how they interact with your business. And that's a great question because a lot of companies go off of things that don't really tell you if they're good for you. Marketing should be like a relationship. It should fit. It should not be something like, for instance, I've marketed some well-known companies out there like Turner and you know Home Depot, AT&T, and so forth. But if I'm marketing a small business, that doesn't matter. My marketing methods for a large company like that is totally different than for a small business. You don't
Right.
have 1,000 people on employment that can do the things that I'm telling you you need to do. You don't have ad budget that's hundreds of thousands of dollars a month that
Right.
you can run with. You don't have research and development. You don't. So I can't tell you, and that's where a lot of businesses fail. Well, we need to do Facebook ads, or we need to do, TikToks and da da da. Well, these people have like people on staff that's what they do all day, every day,
Yeah.
and you're trying to run your business and TikTok at the same time.
Oh,
It doesn't work. So the first thing to find out if a marketing agency is right for you is see if they listen. If
yeah.
they're not listening to you, it's like going to the doctor and you walk in the door and he just hands you or she hands you a bunch of pills and you're
Right.
like, I haven't even told you what's wrong. Don't worry about it. Just take the pills. Just take the pills. And a lot of marketing agencies are like that. Don't worry about it. Just do this. Just do that. And then when you start looking at it, they're only telling you that because that's what they specialize in. Not because it's good for your business. It's just what they're selling.
Right.
So they don't know anything about your business. And if it doesn't fit, they throw the onus back on you.
Mm.
Well, things may change. Businesses are different. You didn't do what we took, But for instance, if you are a brick and mortar type of person, your business is brick and mortar. You can't take an online only business approach.
Right.
Great, great example. If you only service Atlanta, why are you advertising in California? Now, if I'm working with a larger company that's national or global, we're advertising everywhere. But you can't even service them. But you will be surprised at how many people dump a lot of marketing because they've got to rank and they've got to have their ads showing in places they don't even service.
Mm.
But that's because the agency doesn't care who you service. They never ask you who you service. All they
Right.
care is you keep putting money into our pockets to manage your ads, and that's all we care about. And then we're going to keep doing this for the next 5, 6 months until you figure out this isn't working. But by that time, we didn't cash those checks. Yeah.
That is so true. Wow, that is so true. Um, so how long does it take for a good marketing company for you to see the fruit of its labor?
90 days. Give them
Okay.
90 days. Because the reason I say 90 days at least, the first 30 days, they need to understand your business and your market.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yes.
they're not doing any research about your business and your market, they're selling you a canned product.
Right.
And every business is different. So the first thing we need to understand is Who are you as a business? But more importantly, who is your audience and what are their needs? From that, where do they go to find solutions to their problems? And then what type of behaviors move them through the journey? Once we figure that out, that's the first 30 days. So hopefully, if you're in business, you have some sort of records, analytics, history we can look at and dig into, because this is another problem a lot of companies do. A lot of businesses look at competitors and who they go after. They never even look at the people that buy from them. I could care less about a million followers. I could care less about likes. All I care about is if I have this set of customers that have done business with me, how did I get in front of them? What triggered them? And what moved the needle? That's what I need to figure out. As you notice, I don't do a lot of social media posts, but I don't close customers through social media. I'll be spending a lot of man hours and time doing a
Yeah.
bunch of TikToks and a bunch of, Instagrams, But honestly, the way I close customers and the customers that are my ideal customers, they don't be on Facebook. If I'm
Yeah.
talking to a CEO of a Fortune-sized company, do you think he got time to be on Facebook looking to see what I ate for dinner? He does not,
Right.
you know? And so that's why I said the first 30 days, that's what you do. The next 30 days, you set up your plan. And then the last 30 days, you implement that plan and you look at what works, what doesn't work, and modify. So that's why I say give at least 90 days. Now, after that, you can keep going, or you can say, hey, this isn't working. Let's, separate ways.
That's great. So when you mentioned that you worked with Turner and Home Depot, so you put a proposal together and you went and presented yourself to get those kind of contracts. Is that correct?
The interesting thing about it, like I said, it wasn't because of social or any of that type stuff. It was all relationships.
Oh,
I
nice.
knew a person that knew a person that needed something, and that's how most of those bigger deals close. You
So it's
you
network.
networking. You
Yeah.
know somebody, they may be an executive or they may know the executive, and they're like, hey, this business needs what you offer. Let me make an introduction. And then from that introduction, now I'm not saying don't do social. I'm not saying don't advertise. I'm not saying don't do all this stuff, because they do some due diligence. And they're going to want to see if you're ranking in Google. They're going to want to see if you're on social. So yeah, I post every now and again,
Okay.
but it's not how I look at generating leads. But you need to understand your business. Now, I'm not saying don't do that, because there's a lot of businesses that works for very well. But to get those larger companies like that, understanding my clients, I understand they're not on social looking at people's TikToks, Facebooks. They're on LinkedIn,
I
and they're
know.
looking at your profile. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So can you explain the art of networking?
The art of networking. The art of networking is, it is not about you. That is
Yeah.
really, it's having conversations where it's not about you. The problem is we go to networking, and you remember the beginning of meetup. Remember those days?
I do.
You would go to a meetup and everybody will be talking and nobody will be listening.
You're so right.
Everybody be handing the talk. This is me. This is what I do. Da, 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 da. Think about how annoying that is to go to, let's just say in a social setting, go to a bar when everybody is telling you who they are and how successful they are, and they never even ask you your name.
Woo.
And that's how most people network. They go to these networking events. Hi, I'm so and so. I do this. I work for this. I did that. I'm going to make you $1,000,000. You're going to
Yeah.
be rich. You're going to be.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay,
Right. Trying to
but
trying to sound confident, but they sound like narcissists.
exactly. But just have a conversation. People
Yeah.
do business
Yeah.
with who they know, like, and trust.
That's
First of all,
right.
they got to get to know you, but they got to know that you know them as well. And as
Yes.
far as likability, people like to talk about themselves. So let them talk about themselves. They'll like you and then trust you once they get to know you. then you start showing them the things you do. Because as a business person, most of us by default, we can't help it, are going to talk about our business.
Yeah,
It's just what we do.
exactly. You're
And
right.
that's how I know when certain friends, if I actually have friends that in certain things. If I have a friend that doesn't know what I do, they're not friends.
That's
I've
right.
had friends for over 10 years be like, man, I didn't know you did marketing. How could you not? That's all I do. That's all I talk about. How could you not? But that's how we go into a lot of this networking. We go and we're talking about us so much, we never get to know who we're talking to
Right.
and what their interests are, their needs are. Because honestly, you might say something that I'm like, wow, I need that, or I know somebody that needs that.
Yes. Yes.
And so
Yeah.
that's how I go into networking. We got to build a bond first because I might not want to do business with you.
Yeah.
You might not want to do business with me, but I'll never know that if I'm always got the sales mode in place and I'm always selling, selling, selling.
You are so right. Because people don't like to be sold, right?
They want
Uh,
to buy.
yeah. Yeah. So another part of I was about to say marketology. Another part of
The
is
branding work.
I know, I know. Another part of marketing is storytelling. So do you have any tips on how to give a great story?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say pull from your personal experiences.
Mm,
People can look through a made up story that's a script, that's a
you're
can.
right. You're
But
right.
you pull from your personal experiences. And I love doing analogies, as you can tell. I love because
Yeah.
analogies will allow a person to visualize it. So
Yes.
when you're doing your storytelling, what you want to do is you want to basically pull from some experiences that you've had and make it relatable to the conversation that you're having.
Mm,
So, if a person, let's say a person loves to eat, then pull the story in and make it relatable to food. If a person loves, like, let's say fashion, you can pull in stories like the other day, I was watching this video on TikTok, and I use TikTok because it's the latest thing with the whole TikTok going down and coming back up
right.
thing. But
Right.
I was watching this video and the person had on this outfit, and I started thinking about it. I don't like dressing up. I really don't. And I really like being casual. And, they had some real nice lounge clothes. And that made me start to think it's all about being comfortable. Now I
Mm,
can sell you sweat gear with that story right there
yes.
versus, we have the best sweat gear in town. Ours is double fleeced and did it. Oh,
Right.
nobody care.
Right. You're so right. Wow. It's about the story. You're right. So, what's the best way to generate leads?
I would say the best way to generate leads, first of all, going back to what I said before, if you're already in business and you know that you have customers and clients, find out how you got them first. Then find out what are the biggest questions that they have, become an expert in answering those questions, find out where they go to find those answers, and that's where you be. That's where you go.
Mm,
And you just make yourself an expert on that platform, whatever it may be. That's the
mm,
best way. Now, if you have budget, you can accelerate that by doing ads if you have budget. But you got to figure out how how they buy. For instance, I was talking to somebody the other day about propaganda and why it works. It's
okay.
interesting how it works though. The key is this. First of all, you find a select group of people. You find out what their interests are and what they think.
Mm,
You affirm what they think. You don't educate, you don't inform. You affirm what they
all
think.
right. Mm,
Then you get influencers that they look up to endorse what you're saying. And then you have a perception that you're already successful in that field. That's why so many people get scammed with social media.
yeah.
They think this 20-year-old has this Lamborghini in this mansion, straight out of high school, never had a job, but got this one. And then you're like, how did you get scammed with that? But it's affirming this quick get rich
Yeah.
lifestyle. And then you got an influencer that knows visually you look like you have it. They've done no research to verify. You just look like you have it, which now with AI, anybody can look like
My
anything,
gosh.
right?
Yeah.
And so with that, that perception comes in. It's easy to close at that point. So if you do that, like I said, and you get on the channels that they're looking on for that type of information, then you just start building your base. You start building it. You keep putting out and being consistent. That's where a lot of us fail. I've even failed in that, being consistent. And you be consistent, and over time, you'll start to build. Like I said, if you have budget, you just accelerate it with ads, and that's it.
Hmm. Okay. So Facebook ads are worth it because I heard both sides of the coin regarding Facebook ads. If your potential clients
That,
are on Facebook.
that's the problem. Most of the businesses that I've worked with at first didn't even know who their clients were. They just heard the term Facebook and they were like, we need to do Facebook ads. Like I said, if you're business to business, depending on what your business is,
Yeah.
Facebook ads aren't going to work, especially if you're doing big business.
Right.
Uh, Think about this. Just think about this. CEO of Coca-Cola. Do you really think they're looking on Facebook for anything?
Not at all.
No.
Yeah.
But see, that's the problem. You're looking at the tool and you're not looking at your audience. And so Facebook ads do work for some and they don't work for others. And they always work for Facebook because Facebook definitely is collecting checks.
Man.
So, yes, very much so. And so that's the problem. You know, a lot of businesses don't want to do the work. They don't want to identify their audience. They don't want to identify the needs. They don't want to identify the journey that their audience takes and how they can integrate themselves into that journey. They want a quick silver bullet to say, well, this is, and so and so. And see, this is the problem. You look at other businesses and say, well, it's working for them, but you don't know the behind the scenes story of why it works for them. Right? For instance, if I have LeBron James as my cousin, I can do certain things on social you can't do.
Big time.
I can even get in the NBA if I'm his son, even if I'm not scoring 3 points a game.
You're right.
Nothing against Bronny. Hey, I think it's a great thing he got his son on. I think we need more people to get their family on. It's always been a good old boys network. It's always been a who you know network. I'm not mad at that. But you can't think you can do the same thing Bronny did because you're not LeBron's son. So that's the way we're going into business. Well, we want to do this because we heard what most people don't realize is a lot of these surveys, they're surveying to affirm the answer that they want. If I was to survey 100 people about fast food and I owned a fast food business, I'm going to survey people that eat at fast food all the time, and they're always going to say it's a great idea. But I'm not going to go to no personal trainer or no vegetarian and survey them because they're always going to say that's a bad idea. Right. And people don't know that a lot of this stuff is spent. A lot of this stuff is spent. And you're believing the narrative, and they know that. That's a part of marketing. They know you're going to believe the narrative to get the results that they want from you. And so that's why I say look at yourself first. If you're doing business and you have clients, at least do yourself the honor, the privilege of knowing how you close them. We're so busy worrying about everyone else, we don't care about the ones we already service.
You're right. You're right. I was always taught the 80-20 and the 80% that is there. The 20% of the customer base that's there, put 80% into them so they can grow and move forward with it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So it's better to work with the customer base that you have and nurture them as more than seeking new clients.
I wouldn't say nurture them. I would modify that a little bit.
Okay.
It's better to understand the customer base you have so you can go after more like them. That's the
Right.
problem. We're chasing what everyone else is telling us we should chase. Like, for instance, for a long time, I was told I should be working with startup companies. I should be working with small businesses and startup companies, right?
Okay.
But my talents have always been with fortune-sized companies. I
Mm.
can't come to you and say you need to spend $50,000 this month in your marketing.
No.
See what I'm saying? And see, this is why. Let me drive it home why it's different. A fortune-sized company has shareholders. They
Yes.
have use or lose budget. It's not coming out of their pocket.
Right.
They literally have to use this money. So if I say it costs $100,000, I remember with one client of mine, it was December, end of the year. They were like, we have to spend $140,000 by the end of this month.
Mm.
Figure it out. And I literally was just finding influencers that would charge $10,000. Here's $10,000 for you. How many people got? They didn't even care if it worked.
Oh,
They
wow.
had to use or lose that money. Now,
Wow.
on the other side, a smaller business that's coming out of their own pocket, their own investment, it's their mortgage or your marketing. That's what you're competing with. You
You're
can't
right.
say, well, hey, spend 50,000. My other clients spend 50,000. It's
Right.
not the same. And that's the problem. We look at a lot of people telling us to do this, that, and the third, but they don't know our business. And we don't know our business because we haven't taken the time to understand our audience that's already doing business with us. So once you understand that, you can say, well, I'm going to keep going this route. I need to network more. I need to go to more networking events, but I don't need to go to these type networking events. I need to go here. For instance, if you are going to a conference, you
Okay.
can get larger size clients because they go to conferences. They don't
Right.
go to meetups. But
Ooh.
if you go into small businesses, you go to meetups. You don't go to conferences because most small businesses don't want to pay the 1,300, the 2,000, the 3,000 to go to the conference. So you
Right.
understand your audience, and that's why I drive that home. And like I say, a lot of clients don't want to do that because they've been indoctrinated so much into this silver bullet technique that, oh, if all I got to do is do Facebook ads, all I got to do is do TikToks, all I got to do is
Right.
no, that is not it.
No.
If your clients are on that, and then I'll ask them over the last 6 months, how much business have you closed doing that?
Ooh.
If they say none, then you're just wasting your time.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
You are definitely proving that you know what you were talking about, Mr. Marketology. So I understand that you have a community group. Can you explain what it is and what you have going on?
sure. I have a community group called the Marketology Group. And basically, that group, I teach different ways of marketing. I give you resources. I interview experts in their field because I'm not an expert in every field of marketing. You know, the key is you have the concept, and I bring in people that expert in different things. And then also, I leverage a lot of AI and automation. My thing is, how can we streamline your process and make it to where it works in autopilot versus us trying to do it the old way? Because one challenge the old way has is, let's say you have a super team, but let's say for some reason your team leaves you. You're starting
Okay.
all over again. You got to train them all over again. You may not have as good a person the next time around, so forth. But if you have a system in place, then you can just basically fuel that system and it works in autopilot. So in the community, I teach you how to train not only your AI, but how to train your team to use the AI,
Right.
how to set up automations that work in autopilot, how to integrate your team into the process because everything cannot be just all AI. You know,
Yeah.
you still have to have a personal touch. People
Right.
still want to talk to people, no
Right.
matter how much Elon. I'm not going to shoot shot. How much they want us to talk to robots. You know,
Right.
people still want to talk to people,
Yeah.
and so you're going to want to integrate, but you don't want your team stepping on your automation's toes. You want to put them in, and they know what they're doing and how to say, "Oh yeah, you'll receive an email." One automation I used to do back in the days used to amaze when I was speaking at different conferences. I would automate my social media, but I would automate the social media to say I'm speaking at this event, and then I would automate it to say, "Hey, I'm about to walk on stage now, y'all." Da, 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 da. And they'd be
Nice.
so like, "Oh my God, I'm looking at you right now, and I got this tweet, or I got this." I scheduled that stuff last week. I
Yes.
scheduled that stuff, once I booked the actual conference. I already put my whole marketing campaign in autopilot because I knew if I'm coming on at 11, I need to send this out at 10:55.
Yeah.
And they would
Nice.
be so amazed. But that's the beauty that you can put in the automation. And then, of course, you don't have to worry about it again. I don't have to call my assistant and say, "Hey, man, did you send that
Right.
out?"
Right.
You know? And
Yeah.
so that's what I teach in the community. I just teach you how to set all that up, and then you can streamline your business and you can start to scale and grow.
Wow. So that's wonderful. How can they find you so they can sign up?
Sure. You can go to mrmarketology.com and sign up there. I literally give a free assessment. I give you a free marketing assessment. The reason I do that is I want serious people in the community.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to do a free assessment and us know where you are
Yes.
and how we can help you, I'm not trying to sell you a bunch of goods. So, having a bunch of people in the community and nobody's taking action, is not any benefit to either one of us. So I want people that are really serious. They're like, okay, this is what I've been doing in marketing. This is my goals. I do or I don't understand this aspect of my marketing. I know how to create content and value that can help you. Because if I know your audience, but you may be struggling with your offer, I can say, okay, I need to do some courses on offers and put that in the community. Versus saying, hey, let's talk about Facebook ads.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot more. This community is a lot more tailored to the actual community than it is me just putting out a bunch of content just to take up your time
Right.
and try to make myself look smart.
Exactly. Exactly. Wow. This has been an amazing episode. Do you have anything you would like to leave our listeners and viewers?
Sure. I would say one of my slogans has always been: you don't have a revenue problem, you have a strategy problem. I
Mhm.
would tell everybody, take some time to literally look at your business and see where the holes are.
Yes.
Get some consultation, get some mentorship. Reach out to Coach Stephanie with the 2S, which means financial freedom. You
You know,
know,
that's it.
do that. Get help. Everybody's not an expert in everything. And that's one of the challenges we do as a business. We look at we know everything about everything, and we don't want to get help with anything. And so, that's a challenge. And I'm not saying that to try to sell y'all on leveraging me or leverage. I'm just saying, if you want to scale, look at the top percent in business. Do they or do they not have advisors? And the
Yes.
advisors they have, are they not experts in their field? Or
Mm.
are they people they found on social that's standing in front of a Lamborghini? Most of those people have had years of experience and they can tell you where the stumbling blocks will be, how to get over that, versus selling you on I can get you rich and successful overnight.
Right.
So just be careful with that. And my parting notes: if you don't take anything from this, if you're going to work with a marketing agency, a marketing consultant, a coach, whatever, if they haven't taken the time to get to know you and your business and your goals before they start prescribing you some sort of medication, then they are not trying to help your business grow. They are trying to help their business
Ooh. Yes. Wow. That is it. Yeah, I mean, you just dropped the mic with that one.
grow.
That is so true. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Marketology. I would love for you to come back a couple of months and we just follow up to see how your community is growing and whatever else you have going on.
Sure, anytime. Thanks so much for having me on. It's been a pleasure. It's great catching back up.
I know, definitely. Well, thank you again so much, and I look forward to seeing you again soon, okay?
All right.
All right. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I mean, you can tell he has a plethora of information, knowledge, wisdom. He definitely knows marketing. So make sure you check out MrMarketology.com. He definitely knows what he's talking about, and I am definitely a witness. I've watched him for years, and I mean, he's definitely been consistent, very personable, very positive, and very professional. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode and all of the future ones to come. Make sure you share this information with your friends and family, and I will see you again every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until the next time, stay prayerful, stay positive, and stay persistent. Thank you all. I hope to see you all soon. Peace.